Hello and welcome. I hope everyone's doing well. Today I'm going to be working with a Spellbinders die set that I've got. It's the Bibi Cameron pop-up Hummingbird die. There are 11 pieces to this. And I've played around with it a little bit and made some of the die, cut out some of them and worked with them a little bit. But I was thinking about the color of hummingbirds in our area and just how some of them seem almost metallic looking. I mean, they just have this different look to them, and if you look them up online, you'll see that as well. And so what I was thinking I would try, it's going to be a little bit different, was to cut my hummingbirds out of this holographic rainbow paper from Simon Says Stamp. I had gotten 6 sheets of this, and it just, when you look at the different coloring on the hummingbirds, I just thought this could be a really good cardstock to use for that. So we'll see how it turns out, but I'm going to use that. And then there are some flowers for the pop-up portion, some flower pieces for the pop-up portion of the die. And I was thinking for that, to kind of go along with the holographic look of this paper, I was just kind of looking at some of the colors in there, and I thought maybe these 3 colors might work. So I'm going to go off camera, and I'm going to die cut out all my pieces, and then I'll be back and we'll begin assembling our card. Okay, I'm back and I have all my die cutting pieces here laying out. So I've got some extra paper too. These are going to be some panels that I'm going to use for my card, but I've got my florals cut out, and they're in a non-metallic type paper. And all of these are just, I don't know if you can see them, but they have all their nice bends in them, so you just need to bend them in and get them ready. And then these will overcross, and these are your tabs. Anyway, but I've got 3 layers of floral here, and would need to bend each one of those. And then I have, and it's going to go like that, and along with this, that will go inside of there as well. And then I've cut from my foil the insert for the flower. And I've got a couple different options here because I wasn't sure if I'd want to go with a foiled one, maybe even this foiled one here. I've just got some options that I'm going to work with. And then I've got my birds, I have my wings, and I've got multiples because I'm going to put one on the inside that's going to pop up, and then one, I believe, on the outside as well. So I've got these leaves these wings all foiled out along with the breast plate, or breast feathers, I guess I should say. And I've got those all. So let's just go ahead and start assembling our birds, and that'll give you a feel for that, and then we'll talk about the other elements of the card. So I have an extra set of wings because the pop-up one on the inside, you'll be able to see the back side of the wings really well. So I wanted to go ahead and have another set of wings. So let's just go ahead and begin assembling. I think what I'll do is I will do the first assembly, the first bird that's going to go on the outside of my card, and then we'll do the assembly of the bird that's going to go on the inside. So I'm just going to get my little embellishment because I've got some really small pieces here. The really fine ones are like the eyes and the beak and that. So I'm just going to begin assembling, and I'm just going to put a tiny little dot. In fact, that's probably more than I want. I'm going to use my scrap paper over here to blot that off, and just put a tiny little dot where the eye goes, and then use my embellishment wand to pick it up. If you like intricate die sets, this is a really good one because it's got some, and if you like pop-up cards, now I've done some other pop-up cards that are on my channel, and I'll try to remember to link them, but I'm just basically, and I should pick this up. The Spellbinders, as always, have really good markings where stuff goes. If you can see, where the breast feathers go, and this is where the beak goes. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. It just has really good markings. So there's the eyes, and then actually on this one, I because I'm going to just make one on the front, you know, I could actually do two. I'm going to go ahead and cut it apart, and that way if I want to do two, I can. I'll have the option of it. But if I decide not to, I'll just do the one. Because you could fold this and give it some dimension and just have one on your front cover. But I think you could probably fit two on here pretty easy. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll go ahead and cut this apart. And basically I'm using this for two birds on my front cover. This is just an option. Just cutting them apart, and then you could actually have two birds on the front cover. Or you could die cut out 3 birds and double them up and do it that way if you want to. But since this is what I did, I'm going to save on this holographic paper by doing this. Okay. So let me grab my tweezers. I'm just going to flip this over and just put some glue, and I'm going to kind of stay away from the edges so that I hopefully can put it down fairly cleanly. And I'm just going to follow the pattern. I mean, Spellbinders has just laid it out for you. It's right there, and just lay it down. Then if you got a little extra glue, just take and clean it up, and we'll just clean that up a little bit. So that is basically right there where it needs to go. And then I'll just take my other one. Just try and get it laid down nicely. Oh, and that, yeah, that's right. Okay, for a minute I thought I had the wrong piece. You have to make sure you get the right pieces, because one's in one direction and one's in the other direction. So there's that. So I've got that done. Hopefully you can see that. Whoops. I think I'll use that one. And then this one. And then okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Before I do that, I think I'll go ahead and put their beaks on. And I've got 4 little beaks cut out here, and you got to get them in the right direction. So this one's going to go on here, and I'm going to lay this down. And you probably can't see me doing it because I was off camera there. And I'm just going to use my tweezers and just pinch that together. But look at that. The shine on that, it just, I don't know, when I look at the hummingbirds online, when I look at the different colors of them and stuff, I just felt like they almost look metallic, and I thought that'd be pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get this other one assembled, and then we'll get their wings on, and these will be my front birds. The wings, you know, what I've decided to do is there's like kind of some indentations in your breast feathers. So I'm going to go down to not the first one, but the second one, and that's where I'm going to lay my wings. So I'm just going to take and lift them up and just pinch them down on there. And then the next one, and these, like I said, they do go in different directions, so you want to make sure you get the right ones on there. And I think what I'm going to do is just kind of put some glue on there. I'm going to go down to that second one and just lay that in there like that. So I have my 2 birds for the outside cover. Now, since these are my 2 birds for the outside cover, I'm not going to need this tab that you need for the pop-up part on the inside. So I'm going to cut that tab off, lay that aside, and I'm going to cut this tab off as well. And you can see a line there, and just follow that line along and cut that off, and then you won't have that tab. That tab is for the pop-up portion. Okay? Okay, let's go ahead and build our second bird just so that we have it ready to go. And it's even showing my fingerprints on there. So I'm just going to lay just a tiny little bit of glue down for the eye. I'll get my embellishment tool. I've got all these pieces laying on this blue paper here just so I could keep them all together on my desk, because I did the die cutting and then had to come back to it. So I just set them on that. I'm just going to lay that on there. Lay the other blue eye. Just let it, I'm going to let it dry and just clean it up later. Maybe. Trying to get it where I want it. And then, okay, now on this one, I think I said that I'm going to actually need to do 2, because the way this bird's going to look on there is it's going to be bent like this, and you will be able to see part of it. I think I'll go ahead and die cut out another one and just glue them together. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got some beaks, and these are a little different color, and when you cut the beaks out, it actually cuts the eyes out. So I went ahead and changed the color of the eyes because they were blue and they just blended right in, but these pop out a little bit more and they'll kind of match the beak. May not be the right color, but it's what I have and I like it. So I'm going to try and get my beak going in the right direction. And these pieces are just so fine. So I'm just going to get it laid down there. Try to get the glue on it. The metallic does make it a little bit harder to glue. It just wants to slide around there, just making it a little bit harder to glue. So I'm just going to get it where maybe get it where I want it and pinch that with my tweezers, let it dry a little bit, and then I'll add the other side. Okay, so we've got all of our birds assembled. Now I think we should probably work on assembling our flowers, and these should be a lot easier because there's just not small pieces or whatever. So once you have all of these scored lines bent in, you can easily see how your flower goes. So you're going to just take and add a little bit of glue and join these two together and just bring them together nicely. Kind of make them line up. If you can see, I lined up the inside of the center of the flower with that and just kind of glued those, pinched those together. You're going to do the same thing with the green one. Just bend your scores, get them how you want it, and then bring that in just like you did and glue it down as well. So that's not too bad. That's a lot quicker. All right. And then you've got this one here as well. And you're just going to try to decide which way I want to bring that in. I want to bring it in to where it goes like that is what you're going to do. So you're going to bring it in. It actually even has a little mark there. I don't know if that should go on top or that. I don't think it'll matter because the center will cover it up. So I'm just bringing it in. It's a little trickier, and because it's a little tighter of a loop, you might want to pinch it together to get it to stay. So I'm going to just get it lined up how I want it and then just pinch it and set that aside and let that go. So these are, I'll show you these pieces here. This is how our flower goes. Then we have a center, and we have some leaves that I've also cut out of foil, and we'll see how that works. Now this die here I wanted to show you. This is the die that cuts out the piece for the pop-up. So basically if you can see, it's got a score line in it and it's got two slits. So where the score line is where you would bend it, and that's going to be like the fold of your paper, okay? And where you would put like in the fold of your, where's my paper at? I know I've already scored a card. So basically it would go right in here in the fold of where your card's going to go. And you're going to have two of them because you've got one for the flower, the little hinges on the flower, and then you've got one for the little hinges on the inside of the bird. So you're going to use that. So let's go ahead and get started on assembling that, and we'll go from there. I'm going to use 2 panels, and I'm actually going to I think I'll just start with my let's just start with the bird because it is the simplest, so you can see how that'll work. On this, there's like a score line there for that, and you would bend that in, and then you're going to bring this over and bend this in as well. And then what you will do is you will take your bird and you're going to slide both of those bends through here and tape and glue or tape them down. I am going to use some of that tape and do that because I don't want to mess with the glue, and I want to be sure that it's going to stay. I might use both glue and tape, but let me grab some tape here real quick. So I think what I'm going to do is just take some of this tear tape, and I'm getting it stuck all over, and I'm going to put some on there, tear it off, put some on there and tear it off, and I'm going to use that to just help hold that into place, because I'll get a, you know, with this metallic, I want to make sure that I get a good firm. So I'm just peeling. Where's my tweezers? Okay, I'll let go of that. See if I can get a hold of these. That's not working. Okay. And just tear that tear tape off, and then just take that and just fold that into that tape, bend that thing over so that it's going to stay really well. This piece is a little bit too long. I'm going to tear some of that off. And just tear that backing off and glue that and tape that baby down so that you've got a good tape on that. So this is going to hold your bird up like that, okay? And then what I'm going to do once I get my flower together, and my desk has been kind of messy here, so I apologize for that, is I will put some panels to kind of cover that up, and hopefully if I get it where I want it, I can put a panel kind of in there like that, and it'll cover it up. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. So I've got that assembled and ready to go, and I'm just going to work on my flower next. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line the tabs up. I mean, you just have to be concerned with the tabs on this, and then that'll pull your flower in together. So I'll just put a little bit of glue on here. I've got to clean my glue off again. And I'm just going to put a little bit to hold that in place there. And then I'm just going to line my tabs up. Hopefully you can see it. It's kind of hard sometimes with the camera, but just get them tabs lined up in the right spot and just pinch them together. Get a good adhesion on it. So see, I've got them lined up there and they're good to go. And then I'm going to do the same with this. And with this one, I think I'll just do this side. And I'm just going to put my glue down on there and then grab my flower, line it up, and pinch it in. So this video here is more of a, just a full tutorial, not a lot of chit chat, but I wanted to show you how to do this if you've never made a pop-up. And I do want to I'll link a couple other pop-up cards that I've done for my Cricut. So if you're interested in that, I'll try to link those videos. So what I'm doing now is I'm just bending that in, trying to bend that in so that I can do the same thing with this. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add my tear tape now before I even put those through there. And maybe it'll be a little bit smoother. Let's hope. Okay, so there's that. I know what I need. This was the tool that I really needed to lift that tear tape with. So I'm just going to do that. Now, I've got that tape on the back of there. I'm going to bring this up just to show you again. Run those through there. Try and get them lined up and get them in there. Get in there. And then just pull them down and stick them to that tape. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And now what I need to do is these panels are the same size. I use my A2 Matting Basics for it, and they're going to set in here, and they'll probably be a little more toward the center than they typically would be. I'm going to try and evenly space them at the top, but maybe more toward the center. I don't know. We're going to try and cover these things up. I think what I can do is position, because I've got that tear tape. I've got the tear tape on there, so I think I can probably position them. I'm going to I think I'll just stick that down pretty lightly, and I'm lining it right up with the seam of that. Just push that down because I've got quite a bit of tape on the back of that. And then what this will do is it will fold when you close your card. Okay, it's going to fold like that. And I think I'll go ahead and add some more sticky to this and see if I can't position it, and then we'll add those panels, and that'll help cover up that tab, as well as adding a little bit of color to my panel so that it's not so boring. And I think these colors all go with the metallic that I have. Okay. Now you kind of want your bird to be like dipping into the flowers, because that's what these birds do. So you're going to want to kind of position it to where it's going to be dipping into. And I got to get it lined up where my bend is. Line it up like that. So that's kind of how that goes. And then what I will do is I will bring these panels in and try and line them up nicely to where it'll kind of cover up that tab and also just reinforce it. Now, I have got some flowers that I foiled out of this, some leaves and some inserts. So I think what I'm going to do is, and I feel like I'm having pretty good success with that tear tape on this foil. So I think what I'm going to do is just add some of that to the bottom of each of these leaves. I'm fumbling around here. When you have these tiny pieces, sometimes you do that. So I'm just going to pick that off and kind of use that to adhere it to my flower. And I like that. I wondered if I would like the foil with the regular paper, and I believe I do. So I'm okay with that. That worked out all right. And I've got that. And I think I'm just going to add that. I'm trying to cover up the tape. So I'm just going to add that like that, and we'll have that leaf in there. And now I need to make a decision on which colored insert I want for my flower. I could do that, which kind of looks like the beak of the bird. And I'm just bending on the score line. And basically it's going to go like that because it's going to bend with your card. And I like this blue. I'm going to go with that. I think I like the blue. Just get this other stuff out of the way. And I think for this, it's going to have to bend, but I'm going to attach it to my flower. So I'm just going to use some of this glue here, or this glue tape runner, and just get my bend, make sure my bend is with that bend in the card, and then just use that tape to connect it to the, and so now this is what it's going to do. Okay, so we did that, and I probably should have done the outside of the panel first, but that's okay because we'll just decorate it and then we'll glue it on. Okay, and like I said, it would have been better to have adhered this before I got my card all assembled, but this is a thick card with this in there, and I think because I doubled that up, but I think it's still going to be fairly thick with just the floral layers. So this may be a card that you hand deliver. So here is my card. I hope you like it. You can see all the foil, the happy birthday. This brought some pink in that I don't have on my card. A little bit on the face, I guess, in there, but this is what it looks like. And it is a pop-up card. So I hope you like it. If you do, consider giving me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I would really love it if you would. Thank you. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.